And one of its architects is the Labour MP Stephen Kinnock, who joins us in Central Lobby now. Good afternoon to you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Now, a short time ago, I mentioned an announcement by the Cabinet Office Minister David Lidington that the government would facilitate a process in the 2 weeks after next week's European Council meeting to allow the House to seek a majority on the way forward. Is that doing what your amendment seeks to do?
It does sound like it, yes. I'd like to just have a proper check of what was said in the Hansard, but that sounds like it's moving very much in the right direction, and it may possibly mean then that we don't have to move our amendment, but I think we need absolute confirmation that we're going to have the 20th of March set aside, and that will pave the way to setting parliamentary time aside to debate these options. I mean, you keep hearing from Andrea Leadsom that the House says what it's against but not what it's for. Well, that's because we haven't been allowed to express our opinion. The government has tried to bully and intimidate the House into saying it's either no deal or the Prime Minister's deal, and we haven't had a chance to actually debate the range of options that there are and to form a cross-party parliamentary consensus.
OK, but do you think, I mean, people hear that cross-party parliamentary consensus. Is that even possible? I mean, what gets top billing on that?
Well, I've been part of the Common Market 2.0 group for several months now. It's co-chaired by Nick Bowles and myself. Nick is obviously a Conservative MP. We're working with Lucy Powell, Rob Halfon, Oliver Letwin, many others. It's a genuinely cross-party team. George Freeman, absolutely. George is very much part of the group. And we have hammered out a position. We launched a 20-page, highly sort of detailed pamphlet back in January. We have a clear plan, and we want to put that plan to the House and test the will of the House. And we believe that with support from the right quarters and with some leadership from both front benches, we can easily get this over the line.
Easily get it over the line? Because there are many people, I mean, they hear not least, for example, the Malthouse compromise, the amendment that went yesterday and didn't do very well in the House. And other people will think, well, you could put yours in front of the House and it's no more likely to get a consensus than the Prime Minister's.
I mean, when I say easily, I mean, I think both leaders should whip for this, because I think the Prime Minister needs to realise now her deal is well and truly dead in the water. The leader of my party should see that the proposal we're putting forward simply puts flesh on the bones of Labour's own official position, which is asking for strong single market alignment, shared institutions. We're simply saying this is the model, this is how we put flesh on the bones, this is how we do it. So
what is Labour front bench saying about it?
Well, we've had very positive discussions, and Nick and Oliver and Lucy and I were in seeing Jeremy Corbyn and his team last week. There was a very detailed and constructive discussion. We're hoping that we will get the Labour Party's front bench support for this, and if Theresa May continues to refuse to reach out across the House and build that consensus, we also believe that there are substantial numbers of Conservative MPs who, whatever they're whipped, will back this option.
The Chancellor?
Well, look, I mean, obviously cabinet ministers are in a different position, but our understanding is that there are at least 10 cabinet ministers who support Common Market 2.0. So I hope that we will all start showing some leadership, that cabinet ministers and colleagues from across all of the benches will recognise that we're in a political and constitutional crisis. We have to find a way out.
And just briefly, to get to that, if it were, it would need a 2-year delay, would it?
No, not at all. So the political declaration, because this is in essence a plug-and-play, off-the-shelf model, the political declaration could very easily be rewritten to commit us to this, so that we have that in the declaration before we leave the European Union. So that would be done during the extension period. During the transition period, we would need to fine-tune it, but the idea is then during the transition period, you do that, and when you leave the transition period in December 2020 at the latest, you move seamlessly into Common Market 2.0.
Stephen Kinnock, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.